Welcome, my friends of the interwebs. This is going to be a real quick heads-up video. Just bought a new buck knife today. I have a bad habit of buying knives wherever I go. But this buck kind of got me thinking, because one of the things that I love about buck knives is that they're made in the United States. And you can see this Made in USA flag. Or so I guess it says USA made. The thing of it is that I was looking at the buck knives, and lo and behold, I noticed that there was quite a few of them that didn't have this American flag on it. And so I flipped it over and looked. Now, whereas this one here says made in the USA, I don't know if that's zooming in or not, a lot of them said made in China. You know, so you got to be very careful, because I mean, I don't know if I'm the only person, but I was always like, oh, well, the thing I love about buck knives is they're made in the United States. Well, not entirely true. You have to be very, very, very careful. Now, if you're like me, I have, and I know a lot of you know this, I have a dislike for cheap Chinese knives. Well, and even ones that aren't cheap. I have a dislike for anything that comes from China, mainly because they use slave labor, unfair trade practices against the West. And I think that they're the evil giant, and we are giving them our money, and they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, I know, realistically, it's very difficult to get away from made in China, and that's unfortunate. And I think we've put ourselves in that position. But where we can, we should. So if you're going to buy a knife, for example, let's say you want a buck knife, look for that flag. If it doesn't have the flag on the package, flip it over and see where it's made. You know, Buck makes some really good knives. I think the ones that made in the United States are the higher quality, and that's just not just me saying that. I really think they are. You know, it's kind of a shame, but you know, listen. Bottom line, slave labor is evil. Unfair labor practices is going to be the end of the West. And I say the West. I'm not saying just the United States. The West or the Western culture in general. Now, look for knives that are made. Well, and hey, listen. There's some really great knives made in Japan. I don't have an issue with that, because the Japanese don't treat their workers like slaves. They don't imprison people. They don't. I mean, listen. I don't have to go through everything China does to its population. It's horrible. You know, and we're propping them up financially and making them into a giant monster that will take over the world. Just my opinion. You could disagree if you feel like it, but I really think I'm right on this. Yeah, there's some great knives made in Japan. I have no issues with buying Japanese knives. There's some really great knives made in my ancestral home of Switzerland. Some really, really great knives made in Switzerland. And some other places around. The German knives, and there's some great English knives. But, you know, I'm just not buying the Chinese shit. And I have. Y'all know I did a Boker Bulldog review. The last Chinese knife I ever bought. And hopefully the last Chinese knife I ever buy, unless I buy one by mistake, which is the point of this whole video. Anyway, listen, you know, hey, be good to one another. God bless America. God bless the free world. And, like I said, just a real quick video. Everybody take care.